Hola. What if the purpose of education was to create a world where we trust each other? In 2021, I saw the future. Right after the pandemic, I was invited to lead a project to teach English in a youth detention center in Cali, Colombia. The moment I walked into that school classroom, into that prison classroom, I realized that a third of my class belonged to the same community where I had grown up and where my brother and I had founded a primary school back in 2016. On the very first class, I was very excited. I brought in all my color pencils, my pretty markers, post-it notes, and a sharpener. Guess what? On that very first class, my sharpener disappeared. It sounds funny now, but then I felt frustrated. I didn't want to teach in fear. So the next day, we sat in a circle, and this is what I told them. You're here because of reasons I don't really need to know, and you probably come from a world where no one trusts you. Oh, that's a sharpener. But I'm here to tell you I trust you. We had a real conversation about trust. Because I chose to trust them, they rose to meet that trust. Not a single thing in my class disappeared again. That gave me hope in the future, but also made me thinking about the future of the students in my own primary school. Students and their families kept on asking us to open a secondary school, but we didn't have the building or the license or anything to open it. Then Jeremy called. I met Jeremy when he was in first grade in my school. He left in fifth grade to pursue his secondary education. He gave 3 schools a try, but he just couldn't tolerate how impersonal or boring or even disrespectful those environments were. So when he heard that the school where he was studying was going to close, he gave me a call. Teacher Lily, you have to buy this school. Of course, I didn't have the money, but we found a way to rent it. In 2024, we opened secondary school. Jeremy came back to do 8th grade with us, and along with him came many more students. Now we're running a school with 440 students because of Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy's drive has to do with his personality traits, of course, but also because for 5 years he was educated in an environment of trust. He was encouraged to take the lead, to speak up. He was entrusted for the future of his own school. How do we come to build a school culture based on trust? We learned to listen. When we founded Colegio La Fontaine in 2016, we were very young and inexperienced. So we looked around for wisdom and we found it. We built together a school with insights from teachers, families, and students. Students help us make decisions, bring ideas into action. They sit with us in conversations about budget. They even help us plan fundraising campaigns. Last year, the student board led a musical production for over 1,000 people. They wrote it, designed it, produced it. They even did the marketing strategy. They were entrusted with real responsibility, and they pulled it off. Shared leadership creates real leaders. In fact, I'm standing here today because of 2 students, Jocelyn and Haider, whose leadership took them all the way from Colombia to India, and that ultimately connected me to this event. Next year, Jeremy will be part of our first graduating class. I'm so relieved that Jeremy's future doesn't look like the one I saw back in 2021. So I want to ask you a question. What's in your hands to trust? It might be as little as a sharpener or as big as a leadership role. Let's create schools where we not only prepare students for the future, but trust them enough to shape their present. Thank you.